For it is written in the lost book of the old ones that a voice spake from the celestial void and did thunder to the peoples of the earth, for thy perfidy and thy greed. The skies will be rent asunder by slivers of fire. The seas will boil and the earth's crust will be no more. The rest of the night will be fine with scattered showers. Now, I mentioned that little joke, and it's one that never gets any bigger, in order not to alarm you, my fellow Britons, but nevertheless to warn you that the aliens, them, are still bent on your destruction. They walk amongst us. Be careful. Look at your neighbour and say to yourself, is he one of them? But be calm, because Dawson is watching. Dawson control is go. Good evening, here from Dawson Control, which is a job lot from Lego. It's here where we monitor the movements of those who make our lives tedious and difficult. Tonight we discuss another facet of our struggle against them. Our theme this evening is transport. Planes, trains, cars, going from A to B in the shortest possible time. They made a television series about it. It was called Mission Impossible. Man is born free. Is by nature a wanderer. But the sole object of the travel moguls is to stop you going anywhere. For instance, have you ever tried to read a railway timetable? Look at that. Did it? It's like looking at a Latin prescription for piles. They use other sinister methods called the railway announcer. Never once have I understood a railway announcer. For instance,
the train now standing in platform 4 is a 440 bound forward, forward, no time left.
Now, if you think you know how we did that, please send us a stamped address, pound of steak, and we'll give you a puzzle. But what does all that mean? It sounds like the wail of a very badly doctored Tom. What helped you get on the railways? Last week I ran after a train, just in time to see it clatter away. A sarcastic porter with a woodbine butt in his mouth said, "Did you miss the train?" And I said, "No, I never really got to know it very well." Nobody seems to know what's going on, and to make matters worse, the only people who speak English on British Railway these days are the customers. The fella in the ticket office is usually an unfrocked bishop from Krakow. And the staff in the railway buffet look as though they've just auditioned for Roots. I understand their problems. I used to work to my bitter cost many years ago. I used to work on British Railway at the crew station buffet. I was a meat pie reviver. Actually, sort of going off the tangent on a more emotional theme, that's where I met the wife in crew. She worked in a discount store. I went in for a lampshade. I said, "What will you take off for cash?" She said, "Everything but my earrings." Finally, you get on the right train, and believe me, it's always better to go first class, because then you sit down on a more expensive layer of dust. Because let's face it, trains these days are filthy. In fact, the Beatles walk across the compartments on stilts. Have you seen those toilets? You have to spray them with DDT, but other fires will come in. If you're lucky, there might be a restaurant on the train, and I must say, there's one thing about British Railway, you can't fault the food. There's never enough of it to form an opinion. I had a meal coming down from the north last week. I said to the waiter, very nice meal, I said, please convey my respects to the chef and your staff. The cuisine was excellent. The peacock vol au vents were magnificent. And the wine was chilled to a perfection. He said, it's we who should thank you, sir. It's very rare that we get a gourmet of your calibre on this train. I said, that's very nice of you to say so, but frankly and categorically, I had intended never to eat on this train again, because last time I had a meal, you yourself bodily and somewhat brutally threw me off at Watford because I couldn't pay for the meal. He said, I'm awfully sorry, sir. It's quite apparent on hindsight that I made a grave error of judgment. I said, not at all, I shall have to trouble you again. What about the other forms of travel? What about flying? Now, last month I took the wife away on a charter flight to Paris. You could tell it was a charter flight. We were strapped to the wings. I wouldn't say the plane was old, but Amy Johnson's lunch was still on the seat. In fact, it's the only plane I know that took off from a kneeling position. Halfway across the channel, we refueled in midair. We took on wood. Then disaster struck. The propeller fell off, so did the wings, the tail blew up. Pandemonium ensued. I gripped the wife's arm. It was like getting hold of a leg of pork. I said, my darling, we're in trouble. She said, I know, we'll be stuck a bit all night now, I suppose. Anyway, after that flight, I said, never again. Mind you, I said that last summer when we sat in the airport lounge at Heathrow for 7 days waiting to go. Then we sat in Benidorm Airport for a week waiting to come back. Thanks to the winning ways of this young lady and the human weakness of a high official, I saw the negatives. Is it your own whip? We are able to show you some exclusive film of the extraordinary scenes of last year's airport chaos.
Will all passengers for flight 117 to Torremolinos please make their way to gate 29? Repeat, will all passengers for flight 117
What the hell do they think they're playing at then?
please make their way
Oi!
to gate 29?
Yes, sir?
What is all this about flight 117 going to Torremolinos?
Yes, sir. Gate 29 due to take off on schedule, sir.
They can't do that. We've been looking forward to this holiday all year.
What holiday, sir?
What are... Right here. Meeting all our friends from previous years. All the community singing every night for the bingo. I even fancy my chances at the darts this year.
Really, sir?
Oh, yes. And Julie, she's in for the badminton.
Oh, badminton.
Young Mark, he's top seed in the table tennis.
Yes, well, I'm very sorry, sir, but there's nothing I can do about it.
Now, there's no point in being sorry now, is there? I mean, what about my wife's mobile hairdressing business? She's already got 3 perms and a set lined up for this morning. Can't let people down, can you?
Yes, sir, well, if you'd just like to make your way through to gate 29, sir.
Hey. You do realise you are talking to one of the judges of the Miss Stranded Passenger contest?
Yes, sir, well, if you don't want to go now, why don't you swap your tickets with someone else for a later flight?
Oh, yes, well, of course, that's easier said than done, eh? I mean, they've already seen the bill for Thursday.
The bill for Thursday.
Yes, the big show in hangar number 2. I wouldn't like to be in your shoes when my wife here, she's going to miss Engelbert Humperdinck and the Dallas boys.
I take it you have checked in your luggage, sir.
We haven't got any luggage. We ain't brought any luggage for years.
Well, there's your flight, sir.
Is it really?
Yes, yes. You can buy all the luggage you need in Torremolinos, sir.
Can we?
Yes, it's just like home there, sir.
Is it?
Yes.
Hey, I'm glad you told me that.
Why?
We've never been abroad before.
Do you know, it's truly amazing to think that by the year 2000, man will be able to fly around the world in just 4 hours. That's 1 hour in the plane and 3 to get to the airport. Frankly, I'm somewhat dubious about the speed we go at. Pilots are getting so cocksure about it all. I once flew from Manchester to London, and as we passed over Wolverhampton, the pilot did a loop-the-loop. He turned to me with a note of pride. He said, "How was that for skill?" He said, "Half the people on the ground thought we were going to have an accident." I said, "Half the people up here have just bloody well had one." We landed at London far too fast. In fact, you can tell how fast we landed. There was a nun next to me who found her rosary beads had jammed. There's no denying that if you want to see the world, then the best way is to fly. And let's pay now a tribute to Sir Freddie Laker. It's thanks to him that the ordinary man in the street can have breakfast in London and be in New York just in time to belch. Flight 417, en route from London to Gibraltar. There we are, London. Left London at 9 a.m. in the morning, en route for Gibraltar. And arrived safe and sound at 2:15 p.m. And that's not bad. The only trouble is it landed in Bucharest. Because of the French air traffic controllers' strike. There, Flight 471 refuels and takes off again for Gibraltar. Unfortunately, Spanish air control talks them in much too low over Gibraltar, and they have to turn back due to turbulence and monkeys on the windscreen. Now means an emergency landing in Tripoli before flying back to Bucharest for the luggage. By now, the crew have worked well in excess of regulation hours, and the pilot is so tired he has to pull into the side at Baghdad. Which turns out to be a sort of Biggin Hill with malaria. After a pleasant stay, which included a guided tour and a yashmak wholesalers and an ugly incident with an effeminate sheik, Flight 471 leaves Baghdad for Cairo, but is buzzed by Israeli fighters so that it has to make a forced landing on a bingo hall in Mecca. Oh, isn't this fun? Flight 471 then sets off for Gibraltar, the long way round to avoid the war in the Middle East, passing through Aden before touching down in the Khyber Pass, which proves to be a mistake, due to the fact that there's no airport there. Rented elephants transport the wreckage and passengers of Flight 471 as far as Muscat, where the plane is thoroughly rebosticked. We'll take it off again to the air. Unfortunately, it's unable to refuel at Bombay as planned on account of the airport having been flooded by Vindaloo curry. So it turns back to Muscat, but develops minor engine trouble, and so makes a brief, unscheduled stop in the Indian Ocean. I should never have had that salad. 3 weeks and 16 cases of scurvy later, not to mention mutiny, that inflatable raft arrives in Calcutta. Do you know, you can stand here some days and never see a soul. Where airline officials claim it was all an act of God and compensate the survivors with seats on a new plane and the name of a good psychiatrist. Flight 471-A is then driven by monsoons from Singapore to Hong Kong to Shanghai and on to Japan, where the passengers enjoy a wonderful aerial view of that quaint Japanese ritual called burning down the new Tokyo airport. The pilot heads back for Shanghai, but sensationally, the plane is hijacked by a desperate men who claim to represent a much suppressed minority group, the passengers. They tell the pilot to head for Gibraltar, and with his vast experience, the pilot, Paddy O'Flynn, makes a calculated guess and lands in Darwin, Australia. A nightmarish route such as this spells tragedy. It spells immense human anguish. And above all, it spells coffee. Very good. All this suffering because of mankind's conceit, his vain, tinsel aspirations to conquer the skies. And all he does is pollute them. We've polluted everything. The North Sea is now so full of pollution, atheists can walk on water. So now you've decided not to travel by air. You'll just go up to London for the day. You can't get lost there, can you? What a bet. Just look at this. See that? No, it's not an X-ray of a dung beetle's saliva gland. That's a map of the London Underground. Because we all live today like moles. Some of these undergrounds now are so deep, they don't use mouse traps, they put down wallaby snares. What effect does this have on a red-blooded male? Every time he walks up and down, or he rides on that escalator up and down, he sees all those erotic adverts. Ooh. What sort of things are waiting? Knickers, silken hose, suspenders. And some of the women's clothes are just as bad. Once you're in those catacombs, all sort of things await you down there. Take this case.
And if you would kindly pay at the point of entry in future, sir? It's a criminal offence to travel without having previously obtained a ticket or the relevant authority.
I'm very sorry. You see, I've never travelled on the Underground before. I thought it was like a bus. You just wait for the conductor to come round.
It's people like you lose us 30 millions a year.
I can't think how you lose 30 million if you chase people for 15p.
There's a lot of your type about, sir.
Yes, it really is my first time on this tube thing, you know. Well, all right. It isn't. Some of you probably have seen me before in the mornings. Yes. But I did have a ticket. Only it must have dropped out of my pocket. Of course, I couldn't tell him that. Oh, it's not the sort of thing his type would believe. Hole in your pocket, he'd have said, yes, try the other one. But it's true. Look, there's a hole. There's a big hole here. Look, there's the hole. There, you see? Oh. Oh, the wife must have sewn it up. It's a sneaky thing to do. I remember now. Yes, of course, I didn't have a ticket. No, there was a bit of a queue, so I put my money in the machine, and no ticket came out. But I have paid. Yes. All right, damn you. I wasn't going to pay at all. I was going to sneak off. You see, you can do it at Oxford Circus if you know the place, but I was late. You see, I've got this appointment for a job, and my poor old mother would never forgive me if I was late. I mean, would you lose a job for 15p? And who am I paying anyway? A nationalised industry. Who owns a nationalised industry? I do. I'd just be cheating myself. Well, only an idiot would cheat himself. Can you condemn an idiot? Can any of you put your hand on your heart and say, I am honest, huh? Oh, what is honesty? Wasn't it Socrates who said it was the best policy, or was it Reg Prentice? Anyway, are they right? Oh, yes, all right. I cheated for 15p, but this is the kind of persecution that drives sane men to ride around on Hondas. And I am fighting for freedom! Your freedom! Yes, for a better world, where a man can be his own boss, do his own thing, go where he pleases, and the 74 bus comes every 3 minutes on the dot, and I am putting it to you! The society is guilty and I am innocent! What is your verdict, huh? All right, I'm guilty, I'll give myself up, please, Inspector, forgive me! Forgive me!
Dite-le after so atrobosine, the loss in the Mutheli.
There's no doubt about it, the car is the most convenient way of getting around. Well, it would be if everybody else wasn't doing the same as well. And there's some marvellous cars on the road. There's a new expensive Japanese car now called a Rolls-Royce. This car is so fast it doesn't have a radiator, it's got a pedestrian strainer. I don't drive anymore now the wife's passed a test. I'm not saying she's a bad driver, but when she goes on a main road, the cat's eyes squint. Last week she went through 15 red lights. She said, do you think I should have stopped? I said, no, you potted the reds, now go for the colours. To all of you who own a car, I'd like to pass on some useful tips when you break down. For instance, I broke down last week on the North Circular, and a garage charged me £10 just to tow me 5 miles. But don't you worry. I got my money's worth. I made them work for it. All the time they were towing me, I kept my brakes on. Now, if you can't get help on the road, you've got to go to a garage, and there you will meet yet another one of them. the garage overlord. The very expression is enough to make your pound notes curl at the edges. He's the man with the golden grease gun. He's so crooked they have to screw him into his overalls. That's him on the left, the one disguised as a human being.
The problem, sir?
Well, it just keeps stopping, you see.
Right, Gov. You get in, start the engine up, we'll have a look. Lift up the bonnet.
The extent of the trouble is a bit of dirt in the carburettor, causing the engine to misfire. Now, the garage owners guessed this already and would probably sort it out in about 2 minutes and only charge him a tenner, but...
See anything?
Yes, your engine appears to be missing.
Well, it was there when I set out.
Well, that should do the trick. Now that he's cottoned on to the fact that our friend the motorist knows less about the workings of the internal combustion engine than my mother-in-law knows about being feminine. Yes. Observe the effect that this one naive statement has had on the garage owner, whose face immediately takes on the appearance of a stoat dreaming of a rabbit casserole. Note the eyes. Any moment now they'll start whirring around and 2 lemons will come up. But the worst is yet to come.
Sounds as if you need a new gearbox to me.
Well, you better put one in, then.
You want to see the lemons come up now?
Of course, the engine will have to come out. Probably mean a rebore and a new back axle.
You've seen enough? That man should be horsewhipped or exiled to Slough. Yes, I can be cruel. Mind you, you might say to yourself that the motorist shouldn't be so ignorant, that he should learn a bit about cars himself. But what does the average man in the street really know about the complexities of the modern motor car?
Excuse me, sir.
Sachs manufacturer. Oh.
I'm asking the average man in the street what he knows about...
I say, you're not Esther Ranson, are you?
No, I'm afraid I'm not.
Oh, what a pity. I've got great admiration for her, you know. I'm so impressed by her intelligence. The way she rails against the bureaucrats and the establishment. The way she takes up the sword in defence of the little man. Apart from that, you know, not many people know that she's got a great pen and knuckles.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm not Esther Ranson, but I would like to know what you know about coupling rods, distributor shafts and big ends. And cams.
Ooh, coming knickers.
And rear chassis.
Rear chassis, bounce up and down. Ooh, bomb, jelly on a plate. Come here. No, don't leave me.
Sorry about that. Meanwhile, our poor car owner is still suffering until along comes the kind neighbour who takes him aside and says, "Oh, no, fellow, do your car cheap. Very good. Only round the corner. Mum's the word." Oh, dear, oh, dear.
Typical, that. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Stebbings, my name.
Is it really? Oh.
Yeah, I rang this morning.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Dennis Yap gave me your name.
Yap.
Said you were an expert. Would you like to listen to the knocking, please?
Oh, yes. Yes. Let's have a shufty at the doings.
What, the differential?
No, the works.
The engine?
Yes, engine, yes.
Yes, the engine is at the front.
On this model? Yes. Right, let's have the lid.
Right, I'll just release the bonnet.
No, come here, look. Trade secret.
No, don't.
There, heck. Impossible.
Hey, why?
Well, Stan's off sick, you see, and Stan holds the lid while I do the doings. So without Stan, I've no facilities.
No, you use this prop thing, you see, it's specially fitted.
Oh, no, don't let Stan see that. Oh, if every car had one of them, he'd be out of a job.
Do you think it could be the carburettor?
It's got a carburettor as well. Oh, they're more trouble than they're worth, you know.
Hey, are you sure? Look, it was only MOT'd the other day.
Really? It's come up lovely. What colour was it before?
Look, aren't you going to look at the engine?
No, you see, it's a foreign car, and what's wrong sticks out a mile. You've got a metric knock. I was snookered, you see, because I'd knocked at a metric hammer.
All right. No. I thought you were supposed to be an expert. I mean, you can't...
Get aerated. I've got the cure. There you are.
What's this?
Stereo. Turn it up loud. You'll never hear the knocking. Do you want easy terms?
Oh, yeah.
But transport is, of course, something that you can't avoid coming into contact with unless you're a porter with British Rail. If you want to go on holiday, for instance, you're entirely dependent on it. Fortunately, I can help you here, being something of an expert on holiday transport. Not many people know that I was conceived on the back seat of a charabanc halfway through Blackpool Illuminations. Which is one of the reasons why I'm so bright. However, not even I can solve everybody's problems.
So, you haven't decided where you're going for your holidays then next year?
We've had a look through some brochures.
Of course, Leonard and I went to Greece last year.
No, Bert and I have been to Greece with Wallace Arnold's sun-kissed package holiday intercontinental tours.
Oh, really? Did you have the shish kebabs?
From the moment we arrived. All down that side.
Did you see the Acropolis?
See it? We were never off it. Our Bert were bent double. He's not been right for years, you know him. There's no Vaseline over there, you know. Rough it. Mind you, my Bert's a very bad traveller, you know. He gets very bilious.
Yeah.
I mean, the slightest rocking motion and it makes him ill. That's why we've never had so many children, and we would have liked to have had.
You know, there are times, Ada, when you are so pig ignorant it hurts.
Thank you very much
It
indeed.
really
That's very
does.
nice.
Why don't you get him to travel by train? I mean, that way he could stand up through the whole journey.
Well, it's fine in theory, but you know he likes to drink, don't he?
Oh, yes.
I mean, he's always... I'd never get him away from the Buffy bar. The other night, he was 5 minutes late for opening time at the pub and brewery shares slumped.
You've only got yourself to blame. I
I've been
mean,
a
you
fool.
shouldn't let him out so often.
Been a
I mean, if
fool.
he's not up to scratch, you want to put him on a proper balanced diet.
Do
You
you
know,
think so?
lots of protein.
Protein.
Good, wholesome soups. Does he like cockaliki?
Well, he used to do, but he's past it now.
Well, I mean, it's your own fault. You're too soft with him. I mean, let's face it, you never get out.
Don't.
I know. I mean, the kitchen window is your world. Why don't you get him to fly? I mean, that way it will be quicker.
My Bert will never fly. He's always stoutly maintained that if God intended man to fly, he would have given him feathers. No, he's quite happy as just pottering about the house, and, you know, he's got a small holding.
I had heard.
Well, he's got his little vegetable plot and his greenhouse, and he cross-germinates dwarf gladioli.
Oh, very nice.
And he breeds goats.
I thought they did it for themselves.
Well, I mean, if you're going to be facetious, there's no point in carrying this on, is there? Actually, I didn't like the goat at first, but it's a nice little thing.
Is it?
The only trouble is it doesn't seem capable of doing it. Well, it's not actually mated.
No, it's not done it, no.
It's not to perform.
No.
Anyway, the vet gave Bert some tablets to arouse the goat's virility.
Oh. What are they like?
I don't know, but Bert said this tastes of peppermint. Well, he's always been good that way. There's nothing else he can do. God knows. The alien powers have us fettered, fretful and frustrated. Nothing goes right for the long-suffering traveller. Some members of the audience, I see, are smiling at all this because they arrived at the studio tonight in a brand-new air-conditioned coach. They're all right. What could possibly go wrong, they ask themselves. Well, the transport is fine, but they've overlooked the human element. Take a long look at your driver at the back.
Right, you lot from the Evening Star, let's get you back there. I've had 6 points instead of the usual 3, so I'll get you back in half the time.
From Dawson Control, good night. And we hope to see you again. Until then, Dawsoning watching. From Dawson Control, this is the end.